Now the important thing to note is that when you water your soil before putting it in a pot, you don't want to squish it. Like, you don't want to squish all the water or really...
keep the permeability of it?
Yeah, you want to keep the air spaces in there, definitely. So, you know, I see a lot of people getting their soil really, really wet and then packing it down in the pot. You don't want to do that. Let's see, the pots are... just kind of trying to make a nice even surface. And what I would do is I would have reserved a little dry soil, but as it is, we can just, once we put the seeds in, I'm just going to lay them on top and then barely sprinkle some of the soil over them. You don't have to bury them too far down.
Okay.
But you don't want to just sit them right on top either, because you want to encourage the roots to really go on down.
Okay. I felt like if we did this, I'm going to do 3, just I want to do it exactly like what I'm thinking I'm going to have them do in there, so make sure it works for me.
Alright, so now we've got our pre-chilled seed refrigerator.
What does chilling the seeds do?
The vernalization helps the water to penetrate the seed coat, and the seed will absorb it, and you can see that they get kind of a gel-like coating around them, and that's basically the outer layer of the seed coat that was hard and very protective, now opening up, and so now they're more permeable and they're going to start growing.
Okay.
So it's the thing that lets them know, okay, here we go. And they have almost like no downtime. If you soak one of the camelina seeds in just a little water and chill it for a day or two, but they will sprout. So they're right that way. It's heat that can kill these guys.
Okay.
They're very sensitive to heat. The easiest way I found to do this, especially with soil, is to take a little scoop. And since we're overseeding, this doesn't have to be completely exact. And then you can move them around with a little pipetter, like a little transfer pipette, which I will show you in a second.
Okay. I think about 10 to 15 seeds would probably be a good start.
Because what you'll probably want to end up with is maybe 4 plants per pot. 10 to 15 might even be overkill, because chances are the germination rate on these things tend to go about 50 to 60%. Sometimes if it's just the right season and the seeds are really, really happy, it could be like upwards of 80 to 90%. So you're going to see some variation, and even if these are pretty good sized pots. I can grow 3 to 4 plants in a tiny little styrofoam cup if I really need to push it. So if you end up doing 5 herbs or whatever, that's probably fine.
Cool.
Oh, and fertilization. One thing that you can do at this stage is go ahead and mix in like an Osmocote, a slow release dry granule Osmocote. But since these are seeding, I would wait. I normally do that when I'm putting in transferred seedlings and they're a little bit bigger and they already have a root system. They really like that. But at seeding, you can totally wait and then top dress them with Osmocote when they're they have like nice 4 leaves.
Oh, okay. 4 leaves. Okay. Cool. No, well, that's why I'm videotaping, so I can absorb later.
Alright, so...
I think I'm good.
Whoops. Alright, these seeds are pretty small, so you gotta be careful with this, but basically you just... And you can also do this with
I have a million of those little pipettes, so that's good.
This is a little trickier on soil than on filter paper, but this is one way you can do it, and just kind of space them around a little bit. See, that's the problem right there.
Right.
So what might be easier is just, it doesn't have to be exact, even if you kind of push them around. Yeah, this is going to be easier for soil. And it's okay if they go down just a little bit, but you don't need to drill them down into the soil.
Okay.
And you can see that I've picked a soil with a good amount of vermiculite in it, and this is a soil I like because the vermiculite helps keep a good amount of airspace in there.
Okay.
And these guys seem to like that. You don't want anything too dense. There's another mix that we sometimes use, like a Fafford 4P or something, and it has like more pine bark in it. And that's good too, although it tends to be really chunky and you get like little sticks and twigs, and this stuff is really easy to work with. So, and here now you can barely even see them, but they're fine. They're just kind of...
Is this a commonly, is this a store, this is something you mix, clearly?
No, this
or is this store-bought?
This is bagged. We bought this from a supplier. It comes pre-mixed, but even if you used a regular potting soil, that would be fine. You just want to look for something with good...
A little bit more vermiculite and stuff
yeah,
like that.
something with good airspace in it.
Okay, makes sense.
And then, as I said, I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit, but actually, as it is, from moving them around, I think they're pretty good. And then voila, that's it. We're going to put them under lights and watch them, and as they grow, we're going to thin them out, and if it looks like one's coming up and is happy but is a little out of the soil, you can just take your little tool or your finger and stick it back into the soil a little bit. We'll cover that as they grow.
Okay. So I'm considering the curriculum that I'm writing. I've decided to be crazy.